Welcome back to Two Birds and a Third. This is Josh and DJ and Hank coming here live with some more football talk and touching on some more sports.
This episode is brought to you by Heat Tap. You just have to wait a little while longer. Heat Tap, the waiting drink.
Well, thank you for that sponsor there, Hank. Imaginary or real, I'm sure it would quench your thirst. We got a couple different topics here. We're going to go over free agency, and after that, we're going to move on to our teams in free agency and our teams in the draft. And then we're actually going to move into our very first game as a podcast. Buy or sell. Got a couple different topics. Mixed bag here. It's not just about sports. Got some pop culture in there. But how about the past few days in free agency, guys? I don't know if I've seen a more busy one. I know that we say that every year, but sitting in front of NFL Network, watching these past few days unfold, been very entertaining.
Well, it's been quite an entertaining ride because I know that our teams have picked some guys up, and my team's lost some guys that I wish we could have kept. But that's the free agency game. Guys you didn't think were going to go to teams that you never thought they were going to go to. We got Deshaun Jackson pairing with Mike Evans in down in Florida, and then you have Alshon Jeffrey going to the New York Giants to play with Odell Beckham.
He's going to the Eagles. Brandon Marshall went to the Giants.
Oh, Brandon Marshall's going. Nice.
The first fact check today.
It's okay. It's okay. They might as well be the same guy.
They both played for the Bears.
No kidding. All right, so why don't we start off with the big signings, the ones that just popped off. Let's just start off with Martellus Bennett. First off, he just signed with the Green Bay Packers. I don't know the details of the deal just yet, but I think he's going to get a 2 to 3 year deal out of that. What do you guys think?
Jared Cook's about to drop out. He literally, right after they signed Martellus Bennett, tight end Jared Cook stopped negotiations with the Packers.
Done.
Yeah, so he's going to want to move on. I don't think he's going to want to share with Martellus Bennett. So
$10.
We'll see.
$10 he goes to the Bears.
You think he goes right over? Moves right over?
He moves right over. He takes Marty B's position, his old position.
Speaking of the Bears, Hank, who the hell signed Glennon?
Mike Glennon
to a $44 million?
I thought it was only $8 million for 2 years.
No, it's like a $44 million deal.
It's a 3-year deal. It's like I think it's like something like $38 million over 3 years. It's not the largest contract. He's the lowest paid starting quarterback that hasn't been in the league for like 2 years, But it was surprising to me. I always liked Mike Glennon as like a backup role. I would say he's one of the better backup quarterbacks because he's got a lot of experience. He played in Tampa. He started for them for a while,
Yeah, he does have some starts under his belt too. And right now, quarterbacks are kind of, they're a luxury right now. There's a lot of middle of the pack, decent, sorted out. No one you have the few guys that jump out every year, the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, the Eli Mannings who have decent years, but then you have the Ryan Fitzpatricks.
That's a big gap that he just went to. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, yeah, but there's more teams that are like that. The 49ers couldn't even figure out. They were going through Blaine Gabbert and Colin Kaepernick. You had the Texans with Brock Crapweiler running around out there, not knowing what he was doing. Paid the most ridiculous contract I've ever seen for 7 games. He got paid like $80 million. So yeah, I think there's a lot of just decent quarterbacks out there, but no one who's really. But here's Tyrod Taylor. Even Joe Flacco wasn't very good. Jay Cutler's, just these guys. Phillip Rivers had a down year.
So I'm looking at his contract right now. So 2017, he's going to make $8 million. 2018, he's going to make $12.5 million. In 2019, he's going to make $12 million with a $3 million signing bonus. So, I'd say he's a low-paid starter. I think his contract definitely reflects his skill level, his amount of experience. I don't know. I honestly think the Bears are scared to draft a quarterback in the first round. I mean, I don't know. I don't really remember. I think Rex Grossman was the last quarterback they drafted in the first round, and they haven't had a good quarterback since Sid Luckman, and that was a long time ago. They don't know what a quarterback is. That they're a franchise.
Sexy Rexy didn't really do that great for them, and I swear to God, when I was growing up, and I remember when the Kyle Orton Jay Cutler trade happened, I kind of just felt like they were literally switching the same person. Like those guys reminded me so much of each other.
I think that Jay Cutler obviously went through he went through an emo phase of his NFL career where he blossomed. He's like that little cute kid who like always tells the best jokes, and he's always kind of getting into trouble, kind of like a I don't know, like a Leave It to Beaver kind of kid. But then he turned like 14, he turned 15, he turned 16. He kind of went through that emotional phase where he grew out his hair and he colored it black and he put makeup on, and he's like, I don't care about the world, and kind of expressed himself in his diary, you know?
Yeah, he just I mean, he has a hose. His arm is insanely strong. He has one of the strongest arms in football.
He does.
But that doesn't always equate. He's a horrible teammate. He's almost as bad as Phillip Rivers, but no one will ever be as bad as Phillip Rivers. And you know, he's always just kind of like downtrodden and just never really enthusiastic. Throws a lot of turnovers. I don't know. I just don't see the value, but I guess he might go to the Jets is the murmurs that are going around. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, he'll probably go through journeyman status.
You think he's just going to shuffle around?
Yeah, he's kind of like a guy who's never had good movie roles, good movie roles, but never been in good movies. Teams will just shop him around, you know. I think that the Jets will do that because they don't seem to be the kind of team that is going to want to go out and draft more rookie quarterbacks, because they already went out and got Hackenberg from Penn State. I think he was like a second or third round draft pick.
Bryce Petty, who didn't pan out
too.
They do not have a good quarterback situation there.
I just want to go back to Mike Glennon real quick.
Okay.
I know you guys went off on about Jay Cutler and all that, but Jay Cutler has always been a terrible. I'm sorry, I disagree with your comment. He
hasn't always been bad. I mean, when he played for the Broncos and his early days with the Bears, when he played for the Broncos, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Like, he would always lead the league, like, not lead the league, but he'd be high in the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of 4,000-yard seasons, you know. Get up there like 20 touchdown range, 25 touchdown range.
I wouldn't say that he was ever like back then. I wouldn't say he was ever terrible, but he also wasn't overachieving. You know,
every locker room he's been a cancer in the locker room because he doesn't give two shits.
Oh, so you think he's worse than Phillip Rivers?
Yes, I think he's worse than Phillip Rivers. I'd rather have Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, right now, I'd rather have Phillip Rivers.
But Mike Glennon, now understand, I know we got back right on to Jay Cutler, but Mike Glennon, 30 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. It's a good ratio to have for how many games he's played. It's not even a full season.
But he doesn't have a lot of wins. He doesn't have a lot of wins. Is the only problem.
So what I'm saying is what the Bears are doing is they're basically doing the safe option here. They're not going to be shot in the face for doing what they just did because they're not putting a lot of capital into his contract. Like you said, he's an underpaid starter, very much so. But they could have struck oil here because understand that he's got a chip on his shoulder now. You know how players tend to play with chips on their shoulders.
Because he sat behind Josh Freeman and
Jameis Winston.
And now Jameis Winston.
Yeah. So dude's pissed. He beat Seattle in Seattle. A lot of people like to forget about that. When Seattle was unbeatable.
No, he beat them
he beat them in Seattle.
When?
He threw like 5 touchdowns, I think. But you can fact check me later on that. But I understand what the deal is. I think, like you said, it's very much what his skill level is at.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's a good point. But I think I like it. I mean, Mike Glennon hasn't done anything to disprove or to take away from the fact that he could start somewhere.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
yeah. But I don't.
He can't start.
I wouldn't right now build a team off of him.
No,
Right
if
now.
I was the Texans, I wouldn't try to sign him. I would go for Tony Romo.
But will Tony Romo be playing football?
Yeah, I think Tony Romo's going to go try to play for the Texans. That's why the Texans did the trade with the Browns, because it's basically the whole Sashi Brown thing. It's like baseball. He basically bought the guy because they have cap space, so they said, I'm paying $16 million to have a second-round pick. They don't care about Brock Osweiler. They can drop him. They paid $16 million out of their $100 million to buy a second-round draft pick in this round, and then a fourth or what was it, a seventh or something? It was something in the later rounds of next year's draft, but they were able to buy a draft pick.
Apparently, Fox Sports
That's what I'm
is
saying.
trying to sign Tony Romo to replace John Lynch
in the booth.
in the booth.
So obviously he's had
A
some.
lot of people are going after Tony Romo. He's a hot commodity.
I keep seeing these memes on NFL. I'm doing a drop for NFL memes right now, but there's one where it shows an ambulance, and on the top it says Tony Romo going to see the Denver Broncos.
Going to see the Houston
Texans.
And he's in an ambulance.
In an ambulance, so they're pretty hot.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. At least the Texans got out of that. Who knows who they're going to sign? You know, if Tony Romo doesn't work out, do you draft somebody? I don't think so. Well, maybe you're at the back end of the draft, but you need a stopgap guy.
They were saying a Simeon upright for Romo. So basically, the Cowboys would get Simeon, and then they would get Romo.
Trevor Simeon as a backup.
Yeah, that would solve both issues right there. You have kind of a decent solve.
Because then they have a backup to Dak Prescott, and then the Texans, who are literally just a good quarterback away from doing well in the playoffs. I mean, that first half against New England,
terrible, but
no, the first half it looked close. The first half it looked close, and for a second you thought, man, are they going to put up a fight here?
Yeah.
But with no quarterback play in the second half, they couldn't do anything. So
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, the Texans need a quarterback. The Raiders might get Adrian Peterson.
Oh, God, that's already almost set in stone now.
I know, because that's what he's been talking. Did the Seahawks just get Jamal Charles? Is that what I was reading?
No, they might get Eddie Lacy.
That's better.
Eddie Lacy. I think Eddie
better.
Lacy fits their style better.
Yeah, he's more of a Marshawn Lynch. Do you guys want to go through some of the other signings? I got him right in front of me. So AJ Boye, the cornerback for Houston, went to Jacksonville for a huge contract. 5 years, $67.5 million. I'm not going to talk about the players that went to our teams. Stephon Gilmore, cornerback from the Bills, went to the Patriots for a similar contract. Calais Campbell went to the Jaguars.
Yep.
Nick Perry re-signed with the Packers. I guess Logan Ryan went to the Titans. 3 years, $10 million. Pierre Garçon signed with the 49ers. I really like that because it's the whole Kyle Shanahan connection, and they're still kind of expecting to possibly get Kirk Cousins.
It's so funny. It's so funny because it basically it's like the Washington Redskins offense is becoming the offense for the 49ers very shortly here.
Julius Peppers is re-signing with the Panthers, and they're shoring up their defensive line. How many years do you think Julius Peppers has left in the tank?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. That's exactly what I was going to say. 3 or 4. Last year, he's probably just going to be a pass rush specialist. You know, the last couple of years, he's literally only going to go in on third downs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's still. I mean, he's great. He leads the NFL in sacks, or career sacks.
No, he's like most consistent, and there's the most consistent guy too. I think he's averaged at least 7 sacks a year.
At least 7 sacks a year since he's come into the league. Yeah, which is, I mean, if you're sniffing double digits every single year, you're great. He's a future Hall of Famer, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. What's his name? Brandon Cooks got traded to the Patriots.
All right, can we just put a pin in the New England Patriots right now, because they're making more moves than anybody else, and they just 5 weeks off of the Super Bowl win, and they're making more moves than anybody else right now.
I mean, that's what you do.
Well, no, that's not what teams do. And look, this is why the Patriots have this sustained success. If you look at what the Panthers did after their Super Bowl run, even though they didn't win, they did absolutely nothing. They sat stagnant. Look what they brought in. They brought in Dwayne Allen, their tight end, which lets go of Martellus Bennett, and that saves them cap space because they would have had to re-sign Bennett for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now they got the Gilmore who's one of the top corners in the league, to replace what's his face.
Dante Hightower?
No,
he's a linebacker.
Is he a linebacker?
Yeah, Dante
it's not
linebacker.
Dante. They're not replacing Dante Hightower. They're replacing Logan Ryan.
Logan Ryan. Oh. Jimmy Butler's still on the team.
I thought they were going to get rid of him.
Butler is still on the team. It was rumored that Butler was going to be a part of the trade with the Saints for Cooks. But the Saints get a first rounder and a third rounder, and the Patriots get Cooks and a fourth rounder, I believe.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying right there. They've just been they're evolving at all times. So even though last year they won, they can't be.
But DJ, you act like this is a new thing for them. They do this every year.
But nobody's. I mean, I don't think anybody calls them out on it. Is what I'm saying.
They did this with Randy. They did this with Randy Moss.
Martellus Bennett last year.
No, they had him for 2 years.
No, they had him for 1 year.
1 year, dude.
Martellus Bennett was a 1 year guy.
Yeah, and everyone thought it was a genius move. Martellus Bennett, Gronkowski, greatest tight end duo ever. They're going to score 40 touchdowns.
It kind of was. It was genius. It was genius, but at the same time, I felt like there were still people who didn't know who Martellus Bennett was. You know what I'm saying? He's a good tight end. He does a lot of his talking on the field. He's a big shit talker, but I mean, when he talked shit about Jason Witten, Kelly was ready to beat him up. Right?
Yeah.
She wanted to kill him. Strangle his ass.
Hank dropping. So
Deshaun Jackson. Your boy Deshaun Jackson's going to go to the Buccaneers. What do you feel about that?
I'm happy for him because, I mean, Jameis Winston has so many toys, from his disposal to do stuff with. I mean, does he still have Vincent Jackson? Or is he gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, he's got Vincent Jackson.
Got rid of him. They got rid of him last year.
No.
Yeah.
He played for them last year.
I think they got rid of him, though.
Did you pay attention to football last year?
Shut the front door.
Oh, that's right. You were working. Sorry.
Shut the front door. All right.
Hank, I think Vincent Jackson was with the team last year. Might have gotten hurt
Vincent Jackson, according to this, I think he was with the team last year. Looking at his Wikipedia page, he's still with the Buccaneers, I think. 2012 to the present.
Yeah, but they have now. He has Vincent Jackson, Deshaun Jackson, and Mike Evans.
Yeah, too many Jacksons.
And he has Doug Martin.
He's also got Michael.
And he's got Deshaun Jackson, Doug Martin.
Yeah, Doug Martin too.
I like him. I love the muscle hamster. He doesn't like to be called that, but he's probably not listening to our podcast, so I'm going to call him the muscle hamster on here.
All right.
But yeah, dude, there's been a lot of stuff happening in free agency.
Do you guys
almost too much?
Do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to start talking about our teams in free agency?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Why don't you go ahead and start us off, Hank?
Okay, so the Eagles signed quite a few free agents. I don't even think they're under the cap anymore. I think they're over it, but after a few cuts, they'll have some money left over to sign the draft picks. But I guess the going into free agency, I knew that the Eagles were going to go after a receiver. I really wanted Kenny Britt. He was actually in New Jersey because he went to Rutgers. I believe he's from there. He was in Atlantic City, and he was boasting to people that the Eagles were going to sign him. And I really like Kenny Britt because of he had a 1,000-yard season. He was decent for the Rams.
Well, he consistently had a 1,000-yard season with the Rams.
Yeah.
Hey, guess who was his quarterback last year? Jared Goff.
No, I know.
And Case Keenum.
But I really like the fact that he can be like a big target. I mean, I had him on fantasy. He got me like 7 or 8 points a week as a flex player. I mean, that's if you've got that as for a receiver, that's pretty damn good. But obviously, that was just like a cock tease. Woke up and he got signed by the Browns. DJ will probably talk about that. And the Eagles ended up signing Torrey Smith. My opinion on Torrey Smith, I liked Torrey Smith back in 2014, but he really hasn't done anything to make me think, wow, this guy can be a number one receiver. But then obviously we know the Eagles signed Alshon Jeffrey, pried him from the hands of the Colts and the Vikings, who were also after him. We signed a 1-year deal, $14 million. I'm obviously not that big of a fan because that's a lot of money, but he's definitely a big receiver paired up with a guy who can stretch the field, and he definitely gives it makes our wide receiving core at least honorable. When last year it was just the most dishonorable thing I've ever seen. It was offensive. That's how I felt about our wide receiving core.
I just hope he stays healthy, Hank.
Yeah, I hope he stays healthy and off the juice.
Yeah, don't get any more suspensions. Exactly. What else did you guys do?
We got Chance Warmack, the guard from Tennessee. He's getting. I really like this decision. He's been a really overrated guard. I mean, he was graded like really high when he came out of college like 3 years ago, but he's being paired up with his original defensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland. So that's really good. And again, I am still hoping and praying that somehow we can trade away Chase Daniel so that I can get my man back on the team. Nick Foles, St. Nicholas. We need to get the Wolfpack back together, and that's how we're gonna do it. And otherwise, I mean, that's really been it. Kelly showed me this one tweet that some Cowboys fan tweeted out. The tweet said the Eagles, I guess, front office was like, "Oh, Alshon, take a look at our cafeteria," and Alshon says, I actually want to see the Eagles trophy case, and it's just like ... But I mean, Alshon Jeffrey wants to make Carson Wentz an MVP, and Carson Wentz responded by saying, "I don't want to be an MVP, I want to be a champion." And
yeah,
It was a pretty big day yesterday for the Eagles, I will say. I mean, we got some good players, and I'm definitely looking to draft cornerback in the draft. Sidney Jones out of Washington, Uzi from Colorado in the second round. I'm just looking for it. I'm just licking my chops for these cornerbacks, and that's
my gosh. Hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to transition that into me. Mm-hmm. Do you have any more to cover?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so the Ravens, speaking of shoring up the defensive backfield, we got Tony Jefferson, and I think this is a steal in free agency because he is so young and was graded the best run against the run safety in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And that gets me excited that we got him at 25 years old from the Cardinals. So he's already super defensive minded because he plays for Bruce Arians, who's a smart dude, and he always makes good defensive guys. So I'm really excited to get Tony Jefferson. We picked up Danny Woodhead, 32-year-old ACL torn Danny Woodhead, but he's healthy and he likes morning workouts with Eric Weddle. So I think he's going to be a great satellite back for Joe Flacco, especially because right now learning the new system, he's done a lot of checkdowns. So Danny Woodhead is a really, really good check down back. Mm-hmm. And the biggest news of all, We signed Brandon Williams.
I saw that.
I'm excited for that. I think that's what I'm really excited for. Of course, you always read on forums and stuff like that, these people who are like, why did we keep him? Too much money. But then they're the same people that when we lose Kyle Juszczyk, everyone's like, you should have paid him. Why? The San Francisco 49ers made him the highest paid fullback of all time. And the Ravens can't do that.
Yeah, they had the cap space. You didn't. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, what are you supposed to do when they offered a lot of money to him. And as a fullback, I mean, I would have taken it as much as you shouldn't just always chase money. If you're a fullback in the NFL, you don't know how short your career is going to be because it's a dying breed. So
exactly.
You go somebody who's going to pay you $30-40 million. Who cares, you know?
Yeah, it was a good career move.
Yeah, good career move. We lost Rick Wagner. The Lions made him the highest paid right tackle in the NFL. Just like the Raiders made Kelechi Osemele the highest paid guard in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens are really good at finding incredible offensive linemen. And that's why, once again, people get all mad that they're letting people go. But look at what you've done the last couple seasons. People are picking off your offensive line because you have the ability to draft and develop really, really well. You know, that's not – I don't look at it as a bad thing. Yeah, it sucks that we can't keep every single player, but that's how the game goes. That's how free agency goes. That's how contracts go. You're not going to keep every single person that you draft. So if we're turning out guys like that and there's young, good guys taking their place, I'll take it every single year because that means Ozzie Newsome is doing his job 100%. And then the coaches are developing 100%. I can't complain. I think we've had a pretty good free agency. Lost some guys, got some guys. It's not over yet. We re-signed Mike Wallace, so he had over 1,000 yards last year. Let's see where we go from here. I'm excited.
Yep, that
cool.
Sounds good.
Well, that kind of leads me into mine since we're in the same division here, bud. So let's start off with the biggest signing for us, obviously, Kenny Britt. I think he was $17 million guaranteed. I think he's got somewhere around the $44 to $50 million area.
I think it's like 38.
38 guaranteed?
No, 30. Like it was like 3 years, 38 million, 17 million guaranteed.
17 million guaranteed. 3 years. That's a good deal for them. They didn't get clutched into a 5-year deal. I think for a receiver who's kind of like in the middle of his, what is he, in his late 20s? So he's kind of in the middle of his career, not at the very end just yet. So I think they're going to get the best 3 years, hopefully, out of him. The other ones that we signed was all offensive line. And I think this is why I really want to focus our offensive line in the free agency, like I said last episode we did, because we need veteran leadership there. We have Joe Thomas already there to start. So we're getting our guard, Bitonio, back. He's healthy. We re-signed him earlier this year. We just got Marcus Martin and J.C. Shredder. Two of them are centers. And then I really like this other one, the Kevin Ziegler signing took from the Bengals. Signed him. He was our, I think that one was close to a 5-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, $60 million. So they really went in on him. So we're already bolstering our offensive line, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. We got Joe Thomas, Bitonio, Kevin Ziegler, and then we're going to see what we can do with our center situation. That's one of the main issues we're having right now. So all offense, which I would imagine in the first round, we're going to go mostly defense. If we get the 12th pick, we'll probably go with an offensive player. But all in all, I love the free agency. I don't think we overspent. I don't think we underspent. We might have left a little bit of cap space there, but we'll see what we can work with. We'll get into it a little bit later on, maybe after the break, about the draft implications here, because you know what DJ likes. DJ likes his tinfoil hat theories.
I know.
What
DJ
about
wants trades? DJ wants trades. Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G.
How do you DJ? How do you feel about losing what's his name?
Terrell Pryor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
what happened there? Because
Oh,
I thought that he was gonna get signed by you guys, and then it didn't happen, and then something
You
about
guys
his
had the most
agent.
money. Turned it down, right?
so this is why I have to believe that the Browns know something that no one else does about the guy. If he only netted 1-year deal from the Washington Redskins and he didn't offer a multiple-year deal with the Cleveland Browns, means that he's full of shit when he says that he wants to stay in Cleveland. Do you know Cleveland offered him a 3-year deal?
Yeah, they
offered
him the
him-
most money too.
They offered him the most money to, and he went somewhere else for 1 year. So I don't know what happened or what transpired in the conversations there. I can only imagine that he was putting on a face for the public, and he was doing something completely different inside the office there. I've known him. I'm a Buckeye fan, so he's been obviously the whole tattoo scandal was on it. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He hasn't said everybody who's said hi to him in Ohio thinks he's a great guy. He might be just all about his money at this point, which makes sense. But even though the Browns might have offered him more, I think he might have thought Washington was going to offer him more after 1 year. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking.
Maybe he
I
thinks.
think he thinks. I think, but it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. They might not have Cousins.
Well, that's what I was.
They might
just
not
about to
have
say.
Cousins after this. At least
jumped-
after this season.
I think he jumped way too early, or maybe he signed a 1-year deal because maybe he thinks Cousins is going to be on a 1-year deal. The two of them are going to tear it up. You know, Cousins threw for almost 5,000 yards this year.
I think that's what he wants to. He wants a quarterback.
I think he wants to be able to have a good quarterback that he can go up and get the ball from.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, but they might not have him next season.
well, yeah, but he didn't know that. I don't think because the Kirk Cousins news is still developing.
Yeah,
Who
he
knows?
signed his tender.
Yeah.
So he signed his tender, which makes him tradable now. That's the thing. So now that he signed it, we'll see what happens from there.
Well,
I forgot to mention real quick. Sorry, Hank.
No worries.
The whole Brock Osweiler. I don't know why I didn't get into that real quick. The trade and how I feel about that trade. I feel that it was a total salary dump, basketball trade. You take this guy's contract because you have the cap room to do so. That's what they did. Now, they have the benefit because they not only that, they got a second-round pick.
And another pick.
And another pick after that, too. So they're building picks right here. And they also have the benefit if they could cut Brock and, they have to eat the $16 million.
That's what they're going to do.
But that's what they're going to do because they have the cap room to do so. And, hell, they can even have him as a quarterback competition. Why not? I mean, because they already let go of RG3, so they made a roster spot for him. So there's a roster spot for him. Why not? What the hell? What the hell do you have to lose? If he doesn't make it, you cut the guy, and he doesn't make it out of camp. What the hell do you have to lose? So maybe you catch lightning.
But at the same, I mean, you guys do have a lot of cap space, but I mean that's $17 million,
Yeah, but
that's a lot
guess
of
what?
money.
We only spent
Do you think?
Like
do you think
40,
you might be able
50?
to restructure with him?
probably, but that's if they want to
But
keep.
what happens, Hank? What happens if they want to use him as another trading block?
Exactly.
Pass
That
him
was
to
another,
someone else.
That's another thing. He's
Now you have a competent backup.
I
quarterback.
wouldn't cut him. I would trade him. He's just not. He just seems like the guy with a salary that I wouldn't cut ties with. I don't know if it's because I'm a stingy Jew, but that could be it.
It might be because of your Jewish heritage, Hank.
I
But
think so.
I'm just saying. Also, 16% of your cap, and they haven't made any huge monster deals
That's
with
what I'm
anyone
saying,
else.
yeah.
So it's not like they wasted. It's not like they signed some crazy $80 million free agent signing, or they didn't take on some crazy salary.
No.
Because realistically,
This was
yeah,
a
you
year.
take on Brock Osweiler's salary, but after a year, you can cut him.
Cut him. Be done with it.
Be done with it. So 1 year, 16% of your cap this year,
Fine.
it's okay.
You get
especially
drafted.
because, well, look at it this way. I mean, the Browns are really making out now because they didn't spend a bunch of money because Terrell Pryor didn't re-sign with them.
Yep.
So that's saving a ton of money for a free agent wide receiver. You pulled in, Kenny Britt?
Yeah.
You got Kenny Britt, who I think is a better
Very.
replacement for Terrell
I think
Pryor
so, too.
because he's a good down-the-field threat. He can get the 50-50 ball. He has really, really sure hands.
Yep.
And he's a better route runner than Terrell Pryor is. So
I just hope that he's over the Tennessee Titan days.
Yeah.
That'd be. There's a lot. You can get in trouble in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ask Johnny Manziel. there's a white guy in Cleveland got in trouble.
So we'll see, but I just think that I think it's a smart move, Hank.
Hell yeah!
I think that it was a really smart move by the Browns organization
and the Texans.
I think the Texans really scored because I think they're aiming for Tony Romo. Who else could they be aiming for? Or are they a dark horse and we're not going to realize it and they're going to swoop Kirk Cousins out from everyone?
Oh,
maybe.
Okay, we'll stop there. We got to take a break, guys. That was the first segment. We'll come back here with the buy or sell after we talk about the draft. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes, huh?
Hank, we'll catch you in a little bit, okay, buddy?
Okay, peace.
Bye. Give them a non-losing season at 8-8.
Well, yeah, but 1-15, whatever. It's a throwaway year anyway. But my theory, so after what we just explained through free agency and everything, I think one key aspect in the whole theory of mine is going to be how the Patriots lost their first-round pick in the trade with Brandon Cooks. I think this gears a little bit more weight for the Patriots, for the Browns to tempt that number 12 pick to get maybe a quarterback. And this is another reason why I believe that this is going to happen, is because we have secured a 2018 second-round pick as well. That means we have 3 picks in 2018 in the second round. I'm sure that we can, part with one of those picks. It'd be completely okay. And as Bill Belichick, is sitting in his office, you think he gets a call from Mr. DePosteta. I forgot his name. Whatever our general manager is, DePosteta. Gets a call from him.
That's the Moneyball guy, right?
It's the Moneyball guy, yeah. Gets a call from him, sitting at his desk, looking at his 7 rings, saying, hey, how about a first round this year and a second round next year for Jimmy G? Boom. Done data. That means the Browns have secured their offensive line that they needed. They have gotten at least a decent quarterback from what we've seen with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Is this before or after the fake Instagram farewell?
This is before it. Before that. But that would mean that we just get Myles Garrett as the first overall pick, and then we have 4 other picks throughout the draft to go with defense. And that means in one offseason, we have now taken care of an offensive line, possibly the quarterback situation, our defensive line, and then hopefully we draft some cornerbacks, safeties, and linebackers. It's always been our weakness is our linebacking core, besides DeQuell Jackson, which I wish we still had.
Cougar!
That was the only high point in our that, and just by namesake, Marquise Mingo, who actually just signed a 1-year deal with I think it was the Jets, maybe, I don't know. That's all hearsay, but that's my theory. Browns trade the 12th pick to end their second round either this year or next year to the Patriots for Jimmy Garoppolo, and that addressed all concerns in 1 year, hopefully, and that way we can build on from that. That's DJ's
and then the Patriots will win the next 10 Super Bowls.
Well, yeah, that's okay as long as the Browns go to the playoffs. That's all I want right now.
Hank, what about you?
The draft for the Eagles, well, definitely looking for. I was looking forward to. I was looking at those Corey Davis highlights from Western Michigan. Definitely, wet dreaming about those. But that's probably not going to happen now that the Eagles have Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, obviously. So I'm definitely looking at cornerback. Definitely looking at
cornerback.
Cornerback with a C,
okay,
not a Q.
CB.
CB. Sidney Jones from Washington. There's a lot of good cornerbacks out there. I want to go back-to-back cornerbacks. First round, second round cornerbacks. I want to go. Hopefully that the kid from Colorado. What's his name? Ozzy. Or I forget his name. Awuzie? Chaboki Awuzie or something like that.
I'm gonna give you a C+ on the name there.
Exactly. I would like to get a D.D. Westbrook in the third round if he's still available. Maybe
Hank. What position does Awuzie Kabusi play?
No, Awuzie is his last name.
Oh, Kabuki Asawusi,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like kabuki. It's like it's if he lived in Japan, he'd be doing kabuki theater. But or you can get that what's his name, Cooper Coop.
Hank, what position does Kabuki Asawusi play?
He plays cornerback. Back-to-back cornerbacks.
Okay, I didn't know what you were going after.
Oh
so
no, that's why I said back-to-back corners. Either that or get the whatever the kid's name is from Michigan. I forget his name too, but third round receiver. I'm pretty sure that Cooper Coop will still be there. He's one of the better possession receivers. Hopefully we can mimic the Patriots by making our slot receiver a white guy. And then I'm looking at Brian Hill in the 4th round. Maybe Joe Mixon, even though I know that if the Eagles get Joe Mixon, even if the Eagles get what?
You got no shame.
Even if we get Mixon, I mean, you have to understand when the Eagles had Michael Vick as their quarterback, it was just nonstop. People like, oh my God, the Eagles have a dog killer on their team. It was just like bad. So I don't know. Either him or Brian Hill from Wyoming. There's a lot of good running backs in this draft. I want an edge rusher. I don't see any potential trades unless the Eagles are stupid and get Dalvin Cook, which if you know, okay, the thing about Dalvin Cook is he is every much as much of like an off the field issue as Mixon is, except he doesn't have a video of him punching a girl at like a Subway or a Quiznos. He doesn't have that video, you know. I just don't want to get a running unless it's McCaffrey. McCaffrey, I think, is the only first-round running back that I'd actually want.
He's not going to be a running back.
Why not? He's played running back his entire life. He's a better running back than Ty Montgomery, who just converted to running back and is going to play running back for the Packers.
Ty Montgomery just did in the NFL. He just did it in college. You're telling me that's
but he's like an offensive weapon. Okay, he didn't bench.
He never ran running back in college in NFL until this year.
He didn't.
McCaffrey would do better.
I think McCaffrey would do better as a running back than Ty Montgomery is as a running back.
His first year.
He didn't. He didn't have that. Dalvin Cook didn't even have that good of a combine. He didn't test very high. So the reason why I wanted the Eagles to lose that little coin flip to the Colts was because I wanted the Colts to be in front of the Eagles so that they would pick Dalvin Cook. You know what I'm saying? But right now, there's a lot of things the Eagles can do, and I mean they can screw up. I mean they've definitely screwed up in the past, but there's a very low chance that they can screw up with what they have. I mean this is a very good running back and cornerback draft, and there's a lot of good receivers in the 3rd, 4th round. So offensive linemen too, and. You know, this goes to what the Ravens usually do is I mean, people are getting on Ozzie Newsome for a couple things, the Matt Elam one, the Albert McClellan, you know, a couple of them. And the funny thing is that they don't always pan out in other systems, but we get them good enough to get paid big money. So I think he is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's getting good people in the later rounds, developing them up, and making them great players that people want. And so, honestly, the first 2 rounds, realistically, the first round's a hit or miss. It's all a roll of the dice for any team, whether it's the number 1 team or the number 32 team. The entire draft is you never know how a guy will pan out in the NFL as opposed to college. There's guys who are undrafted free agents who become all-stars, and then there's guys who are number 1 picks who fall to nothing. So,
and what you saw with Myles Garrett is a man amongst boys out there. Besides the Nigerian prince.
Oh, Nigerian prince. I can't remember his name. That guy.
The Nigerian Nightmare. What about him?
The Nigerian Nightmare.
That's a good one.
We were watching the draft, and there was this guy.
The combine.
No, the combine. I can't remember what school he was from. Do you remember?
No.
It was from like Indiana or like something like that. This guy, giant, 6'6" 3/4" or something like that. Giant of a man. He looked like Terrell Owens in the spandex, dude. That guy looked jacked, not a bit of body fat on him, and he weighed 265 pounds and was 6'7". A human being I would not want to mess with. And the way he moved, I would love to get him. He's probably very raw. He looked very raw.
Yeah, he's very raw.
But I would take him in the third or fourth round.
Yeah, he shouldn't have dropped that far. If you could imagine a darker shade of LeBron James playing football, that's exactly what we were looking
50
at.
Shades of LeBron. There we go.
50 Shades of LeBron, exactly. But
LeBron.
I think the Ravens are probably going to go either probably cornerback. We don't need a safety right now because we just picked up what's his name from the Cardinals, Johnson.
You guys lost Jusnick.
Yeah, we lost Juszczyk, but once again, I will say we lost Juszczyk because the Ravens weren't going to pay him what the 49ers paid him. They made him the highest paid fullback of all time in a time when fullbacks aren't even used in the NFL anymore. You know, there's a few teams, and I get it. Shanahan wants him for his style of offense, which, you know, sucks for the Ravens, but they'll pick somebody up in the draft. They'll pick somebody up off free agency. The Ravens are good at that, and fullbacks, you just need them. You don't need them in every single down, and we got Danny Woodhead to take Juszczyk's kind of receiving place because Danny Woodhead is actually really, really good in pass protection. He's actually really good at picking up the blitz and in pass protection.
He's so small, he just hits him at the legs.
Yeah, exactly. He's really good at it, and he's going to be a great satellite back. So I think we're going to be okay losing Juszczyk and getting Woodhead. And the good thing is that Woodhead, he's notorious for doing early morning workouts with Eric Weddle. So I think it's just going to be
they were teammates in San Diego.
They were teammates in San Diego, and Weddle was actually convincing him to come to Baltimore. Just another kind of sign of the culture that Baltimore breeds. So I don't know. I think in the draft we need obviously a cornerback to go opposite of Jimmy Smith because we just released Sharice Wright and Kendrick Lewis and Ladarius Webb. They're all gone.
Wow.
They're all gone. So Powers I think is going to be good.
Rebuilding here for your defense?
I think we're rebuilding for our defense. Yeah, we signed Brandon Williams. He's our center point because we have CJ Mosley, we have Brandon Williams, we have Jimmy Smith, we have Eric Weddle, we just got Johnson. I think we need to get another linebacker in there, but we got Terrell Suggs, and then we have a bunch of other really young talented guys.
You guys have core. Your core is a veteran aspect. You're one safety, you're one linebacker, and you're one defensive linebacker.
Exactly. We have somebody on each tier
Spectrum,
each tier of that defense. We have somebody.
Except your corner.
No, Jimmy Smith.
Like is this junior year this year coming up?
Jimmy Smith?
Yeah.
Hank, school DJ on how long Jimmy Smith has been in the league.
Jimmy Smith's been in the league since I believe he's been in the league since he's been in the league since 2010, right? He came from Colorado, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He's Colorado Buffalo. He's been in the league for 7 years.
Yeah.
He signed DJ after his rookie contract was up. He signed a $45 million deal.
I sometimes get him and Prince Amukamara confused, but I don't think I forget where Prince Amukamara went to.
Hank, thanks for bringing that up. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. He's actually on the target for the Ravens, and he plays right now for the Jaguars.
No, he plays. He got signed by the Bears, I think.
Did the Bears just sign him?
The Bears just signed him.
Damn it. This afternoon, I was trying to read up on it, but so much has happened. This afternoon...
You might as well just get a draft pick, a cornerback in the draft.
I think we should, but we're also eyeing Morris Claiborne from the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We could get him because we released everyone. We released Elvis Dumervil, Kendrick Lewis, Ladarius Webb. We released Sharice Wright. I mean, we're just freeing up tons of cap space. You know what I mean? So
trying to be the Browns.
We kept Brandon Williams. We have Joe Flacco under contract. Pitta might do a contract restructure, but we have a super deep tight end core. So I think the Ravens are set up for success next year. I think, aside from Dixon getting suspended the first 4 games of the season this year, we'll see. We'll see. PEDs, you know how strict the PED rules are, right, Hank? So
Yeah, they'll be like, you can't take your own drugs, but here, take all of our painkillers. Just shove them in your mouth.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that sometimes these kids out of college, they'll be taking supplements that they don't realize are banned by the NFL because the NFL's banned substance list is so long.
It always changes, too. They just took Adderall off of it.
Right, because there's certain players that obviously need it for their for ADD and stuff like that. So, yeah. The next step they need to do is obviously remove pot from it because it's ridiculous that you have states that these players are playing and living in that have it legalized. And fine, don't let them get stoned, but let them smoke CBD, which is completely non-psychoactive, and it's all purely just to reduce pain, just to subside pain, and it doesn't give you the effects of being quote-unquote stoned.
Yeah, did you see what's-his-face, Nate Diaz up on the podium right after the fight with Conor McGregor? He's sitting there puffing on his vape CBD. He's like, yeah, I just do this right now. It just completely takes away the pain, but I can still sit here and talk to you.
Eugene Monroe, former left tackle for the Ravens, he's actually a huge advocate. Lorenzo Neal on Drop Here 95.7 The Game, he actually is a huge advocate as well for these CBDs because it's stupid. You're telling me that in a day and age, it's 2017, and you're telling me you can't smoke some weed for the pain, but you can get hopped up on Percocets and opioids and probably drugs that aren't even available to me and you. Like, they're probably they have team doctors that can just be like, oh, yeah, here, take this for the pain. Mm-hmm. But you can't smoke a little bit to manage that?
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother ballgame that we'll get into eventually. Are you done with the Ravens? I just wanted to touch on something real quick because the Raiders haven't made any moves, really. They're all kind of vying in for just Adrian Peterson at this point because they like the team they have. The Niners have made some pretty interesting moves. One, for the sheer fact, everybody's talking about Kirk Cousins and that whole trade thing. So I think that'll happen. I think Kirk Cousins is going to wind up being a San Francisco 49er. That's why Pierre Garçon's there. That's why they also got the guy
Hank, do you know?
I think he's from Buffalo. Marquise Goodwin?
Goodwin. I think it's Goodwin or Gibson.
Yeah, Goodwin. Marquise Goodwin. He's on that team. So they just bolstered their I'd like to say they bolstered. I think it's pretty much the same. Him and Garçon and Smith are pretty much the same. I think they just got a new contract out of Garçon. Maybe a younger player as well. Like the Goodwin signing. I like the Hoyer signing. That's a bridge. That's a definite bridge. If you can't,
he's a decent journeyman.
Hell yeah!
Backup / could throw him into a few games and have him win a couple for you.
And this is why the whole Kyle Shanahan thing. He's trying to get the band back together. He's trying to get Brian Hoyer and then bring Kirk Cousins in as well, and they could be a nice 1-2 punch if need be. Just let's say if Cousins doesn't pan out, you can have Hoyer be your stopgap to draft. They're saying they're going to draft Mitchell Trubisky and then have them with Cousins. I think that's just – there's not enough – Hoyer's a veteran. He might help out Trubisky. I think that's why they got Hoyer's because if the whole Kirk Cousins thing doesn't pan out for the year, at least they have Hoyer as a stopgap there. I like the moves. I just think they're going to be more of a Washington offense coming up looking like.
Washington has a good offense, but on that note, the 49ers have had a lot going on, and I think this is the first time in a long time, and I think it's a really good thing.
Me too.
The Raiders don't. The Raiders don't have a lot going on.
Well, they went 12-4 last year.
That's fine, and that's what I mean. It's good. They have their core pieces, and I'm glad that they're not spending big money because you're going to have to spend big money in the coming years to keep your Khalil Macks, your Amari Coopers, your Derek Carrs. You're going to have to spend big money because you can't get rid of those three. I don't care who else you lose. That's your core. That's your core. You just signed Kelechi Osemele to a big contract, so he's tied up. That's fine. As long as you set aside your money and you balance this cap right, you can keep a strong offensive line and keep your core guys. I think the one big move they're going to make is Adrian Peterson.
I think it's going to be a big splash. They still have one of the top 10. They have one of the top 10 cap rooms still after what they've done.
I know. Well, they've barely done anything. That's great.
So they have all that room that they can bring. They just let Latavius go.
Well, and Hank, here's the thing, right? You don't sign Adrian Peterson to a big deal. You sign him to like a
3-year.
2, 3-year option.
He's been hurt for 2 years, though. Understand that he's not the normal.
He's going to have fresh legs.
He's not the normal 31-year-old back.
He's going to have fresh legs. I know.
He's still under. Yeah, so I think his.
He wasn't
value,
hurt for 2 years. He was suspended for 1 and hurt the other.
Yeah. I just think that one kind of critical question I wanted to bring up was that they were relying too heavily on Derek Carr. And I think that kind of showed its ugly head in that playoff game. Like, if Derek Carr were to go down, there's no team there.
Well, that's why I think Derek Carr should have won the MVP.
Correct. That's
because literally it was like an implosion as soon as he wasn't on the field. He was literally the most valuable player for that team because without Derek Carr, and you put in any other not great quarterback because that's obviously not
was it
fair,
the backups?
But if you put in, it's not just the backups because I don't think you could have put in a Brock Osweiler or Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, Brock Osweiler beat that team.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think you could put in a bunch of any other quarterback and just have him still be good.
Here's the question.
I think Derek Carr makes that team great.
You're right. You're completely right. But here's the question. Was it the backup QB's fault that they couldn't win that playoff game, or was it that they're too heavily reliant on Derek Carr?
It's not. You can't blame a backup quarterback who is a rookie, DJ. You can't blame rookie starting in an NFL playoff game.
Completely right.
That is not fair because he wasn't even planning on starting. That's the worst part. Their backup got hurt.
I know.
It was their third string.
Yeah, Matt McGloin.
Yeah, their third string quarterback had to start.
Third string Connor Cook was playing.
That's a completely different story.
Completely understand
if you're talking competent backup, yeah, but any competent backup could have gotten hurt in that moment, and that means that.
But you understand that they still had a whole year to learn something on that offense.
Yeah, but Derek Carr is like.
And they went up against the best defense in the NFL.
He's like the next Aaron Rodgers, basically. Except he's gonna be Aaron Rodgers faster.
Right.
He's like Aaron Rodgers. 1.5.
Right. I really think Derek Carr is going to be that. He's going to heal up because he broke his fibula, which is the non-weight-bearing bone in your leg. I've broken the same bone. His recovery time, when he said if they made it to the Super Bowl, he would have been fine to play, I 100% believe that. As a quarterback, yes. If he was trying to play wide receiver, running back, no. But I 100% believe that he could have come back because I broke it and I healed in like 4 weeks. And at 5 and 6 weeks, I was able to like move around on my leg, no assistance, getting back into movement pretty easily. So it's the non-weight bearing bone. It's just the support bone on the side of your leg. Right above your ankle is where he broke it. Really not a bad spot. So I think he'll come back. He'll come back perfectly fine. It's not like he blew out an ACL. Way harder to come back from. He's already healthy and training again. Like, that's the thing. He's not still sitting out and rehabbing.
Yeah.
It's not a gruesome injury where he broke his femur or something crazy. No, he's
still pretty gruesome.
It wasn't that gruesome. I watched the.
See his mouth say it's broken. It's just kind of.
But that's what I did.
I know. But I'm just looking at it as a surreal point when you're just looking at it. You're like your quarterback's on the ground looking at the head coach saying it's broken. But it
wasn't pain. I think it was more surreal because when that happens and it's you can't do it.
You've broken something.
When you break a bone like that, like a bone in your leg, like even like you're sitting there and in your body, in yourself, I can't stand up and walk on this. That's why they look at you like that, like it's broken because you're stuck. You know that you can't. It's bad. You know it. That feeling is in your body. So I don't think it was necessarily a pain thing when it happened. I think it was just that he looked over and he's like, my leg's broken. I'm done.
Yeah. I can't believe it. I've never, ever – I can't go to Raider games anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the
like 3 for 3 on this,
The listeners out there, besides DJ's mother, she's a saint. But anyone else, don't ever invite DJ to a game because they lose every game he goes to.
Not only do they lose the game, they lose their starting quarterback as well.
Last time he went, Jason Campbell went down with
DJ's like Eugene from Hey Arnold. He's like the gym.
Right, exactly. Just the bad luck follows him.
Mother of God.
Hey, guys, do you guys want to go to the fun thing at the very end?
Absolutely.
Our first game we've ever had. Can I get like a christening bottle?
So we're gonna play some buy or sell here,
Okay.
and we're gonna move around. I'm gonna ask you guys some questions, and me, Hank, and DJ are gonna weigh in on that order on whether you buy this or you sell it. You're getting rid of it. You don't buy it. It's not the real deal. What are you gonna invest money in on these?
Mm-hmm.
So Hank, I'm gonna start with you on the first question, and that is gonna be. Do you think this new power couple of J-Rod, Jennifer Lopez, and Alex Rodriguez, do you think they're going to make it last? Is it true love, buy or sell?
I'm gonna sell. I'm not saying that it's not gonna last for like it's like it might be like maybe like a 6-month relationship, but let's be honest, like Jennifer Lopez has been with how many celebrities? She got married to Mark Anthony, not the Roman Mark Anthony, but the living Mark Anthony.
She got Gilly with Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna sell that because it just seems like she's gonna find yet another like ethnic man and just get with him. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like a 6-month thing.
All right,
DJ, buy or sell?
I'm gonna have to sell it too. I mean, if we had to give a number, I would say, let's say, take the over under on 2 years. That would probably be a good bet. I would say I'd probably take the over on that, just because they're two very self-indulging people that they're kind of the same person and just in different sexes.
So you think they're going to thrive off each other?
I think they'll thrive off it, but then they're going to get sick.
Much.
They're going to get sick of each other after a certain amount of time and say, this is just not working. I don't know. Again, I'm not,
You're not A-Rod or Jennifer.
I don't know that. I've never been in the celebrity scene, so I can't say that. But, yeah, I'm going to sell it. I'd say maybe over 2 years.
J-Rod just sounds like some weird, like, sex position or, like, sex toy.
It sounds like...
Would you like to buy my J-Rod?
Hank, it sounds like something, if you have to ask what it is, you can't afford what it is. So I'm selling the J-Rod as well. I'm not going with it. Buy or sell, Hank. Johnny Football engagement turns his career around in football.
It's gonna take more than just a relationship to turn his career around. I mean, what his dad said something like, "Well, he might die. I'm sorry." I mean, his dad just sounds like one of those posh businessmen with like a cigar in his mouth and like one of those Hugh Hefner robes. He's just like sitting there like, "Well, he might die, okay? I have other sons." like the guy from Family Guy with the rectangular chin, with like the like huge like underbite. "Oh, let's see. Oh, I have other sons. He might just die. Oh." This is me showing emotion.
You are selling the engagement.
Well, it's not going to turn his career around because he was never really that good to begin with.
Oh.
Okay, and thank you. I hope Wes Howell eventually hears this because him and I have a prop bet going, still going, that he said in 4 years Johnny Manziel is going to be the starter for a good team.
So, and for me, there's parts of me that wants to buy this, there's parts of me that wants to sell this. I want to buy this because I want the guy to get better.
Well, I do too. I think everyone does.
Well, the guy.
Well, aside from his addiction, okay. I'm talking about purely because apparently, as Kelly said, apparently he's been sober. She's helping him with that. Apparently, that he's been sober and getting healthier. So aside from that, I'm just talking purely his football career. Do you think he'll ever turn it around? Do you think this engagement will help him?
Now, are you saying turn it around as in get to a
back to his football career?
As in like very good quarterback, as in like a middle of the ground?
He's ever be signed again?
Yes, he will be signed.
You think so?
He will be signed again. Okay. I will buy that.
So DJ's buying that he's coming back into the NFL.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Selling. I think he's a dumpster fire. I think he's tainted water. I think.
Wait, giving him the rice cream right now?
It was a 6-month engagement.
I trust Flint tap water more than I trust.
Whoa!
I mean, this was a 6-month engagement. You know, this wasn't like he like beat his last girlfriend. I mean, she beat him too, but he like threatened to shoot her and threatened to shoot himself. Like, I'm worried for her.
Wait, well, understand that this chick had this chick by any means found him with hookers and cocaine in his hotel room, in a house that he rented just to fuck hookers and do cocaine.
Hookers and blow. Hookers and blow.
it's
boats and hoes.
Strippers and world peace. Strippers and world peace. That's all you need, right?
Yeah, so but I'll buy it.
Okay, DJ's buying it. Hank, are you buying a Warriors-Cavs rematch in the NBA Finals this year?
Oh, I wish I knew more about basketball. I would say it would be like if I was to wear my tinfoil hat like DJ, you know, take my shirt off and yell like Alex Jones. I think that would show a lot of parody. Like I'm sure the NBA gods are trying to they're playing alley backgammon, like alley dice, just to be like, all right, we're gonna get another LeBron versus Steph Curry matchup. I'll buy it just because I've sold everything else.
Because you're a stingy Jew, Hank.
I'm a stingy Jew. That's why I'm gonna buy it.
Jew showing. As much as I want to buy this, I'm selling it. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen this year. There's a reason why two teams never met 3 times in the NBA Finals in a row. God, I want to buy this so much.
Wow. See, look at this. You have Hank buying, and you have DJ selling, and DJ is the most hardcore. He's a fan of both.
Oh,
the Cavs and the Warriors.
DJ's the guy. DJ's the guy from the NBA apparel commercial who shows up to a Warriors bar wearing Cleveland Cavaliers gear.
But if there were any other team that the Warriors or the Cavs, let's say if it was the Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors in the NBA, I'm going for the Warriors.
But if it's the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Spurs,
I'm going for the Cavs.
Yeah.
So
DJ,
I've had the misfortune, but best of luck at the same time. It's like a gift and a curse.
So you're selling?
I'm selling it. I'm going to say it's Cavs Spurs.
DJ thinks it's Cavs Spurs. I could really care less. No, I'm just kidding. I've actually in the last few years, call me a bandwagon fan or whatever, but I mean, I was never really that into basketball. I enjoyed, playing pickup games and stuff like that, but I never watched basketball that much. But it's exciting, especially the new brand of basketball that they play. I've always liked LeBron, and I felt bad when he left, so I'm absolutely going to buy that there's going to be a Warriors-Cavs rematch. It's going to be the only time in NBA history that 2 teams meet 3 times in a row. It's going to be This is going to be a greater rivalry than the Celtics-Bulls. This is going to be
Celtics-Lakers.
Celtics-Lakers. This is going to be a greater rivalry than the Bulls and the Jazz. It's going to be awesome. I'm totally buying it. I totally hope it happens.
It's going to be great. They're going to play only the best of the best.
Exactly. Hank, here's the next one. Basketball, college basketball, Duke UNC is the greatest college rivalry of all time. True, by yourself.
I'm gonna sell that. I think there are so many college sports rivalries. You can't even quantify it. You got USC, UCLA. You got USC, Notre Dame. You've got Oklahoma, Texas. You've got Alabama, Auburn. You've got I'm trying to think of other you've got Syracuse, Georgetown. Those are big ones too.
Okay.
But in college basketball, I do think that is the biggest rivalry, UNC Duke. Biggest college basketball rivalry.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why that I'm buying that this is one of the, if not the best college rivalry. because the fact that they are, I think, what was it, tied 79 and 79 in the last like 30 or 40 years of playing each other, and their point differential in those last 40 years is now only 13. So,
and do you know the distance between the two universities?
Oh, it's probably like what, 10, 15, like
Not even.
5 miles.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like that.
They're at one end of the road from the other.
Yep. So they're so close to one another. There's so much hate in that. I know Michigan, Ohio State, they don't like each other, but it's a lot of playful hate, I feel, in some cases. Maybe because I'm a Buckeye fan, they've won the last 14 years in a row. But
it does get extreme with Duke UNC, though. I do know that for a fact. Like, they hate each other. Like, they hate each other with a burning passion.
It's not a game.
And it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna give him a high five if he wins. You know, good game. It's just like, whoosh, you know, like.
So that's exactly why I am buying. As much as I hate to say, oh, well, Ohio State Michigan's best rivalry, I think this is the best rivalry of all time, just by stats and how they
and the proximity and everything about the two. Okay, cool. Hank, next one.
Let's have this be the last one because it's starting to tail off. But let's just do one more. Let's do one more.
Hank, I'm gonna switch out the last one that you were gonna say because I have a good one.
Okay.
Buy or sell. The new Logan will be nominated for the first superhero to get nominated for the Academy Award.
That's a good
I think Logan will be I buy that Logan will be the first superhero movie nominated for the Academy Award.
Have you seen it yet?
Yes.
You saw it without me.
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna go watch it right.
Seeing as though it's really hard, really difficult for superhero movies to be Academy Award winning. Are you going to say it's going to be Academy Award nominating or Academy Award winning?
Nominated.
We'll go nomination. I
think it's going to because winning the Academy Award,
it's not going to win an award, but I'll
Why not? Why can't you get Best Picture if it has a good enough?
It's at the end of the year.
I like Wolverine as a character. I just don't like the movie. I'm not a big fan of the Wolverine movies because it's like. I'm not a big fan of the X-Men movies in general because they went on.
Hank, you just broke my heart there.
No. I'm not saying I like X-Men, but my problem with the movies is that they're like, oh, we're gonna have a timeline, and then they're like, we actually those last two movies weren't so good, so we're gonna pretend that they didn't exist.
And here's the worst part, Hank. You mess up the timeline. So you make an entire movie about going back and fixing the timeline, but then the next two movies you come out with, one of them has nothing to do with the timeline that you fixed. The next one, Logan, has everything to do about how the timeline you just fixed. It doesn't matter because everyone dies anyway.
I know, everyone dies. It's like, and didn't they die off screen too?
Yeah, everybody died.
You don't even. There's
it's like X-Men. It's like X-Men Last Stand. Was that the movie where Cyclops died and Wolverine kills Jean Grey? I'll buy it. Yeah. I'll buy that it'll be nominated because I have heard that it's really good, but I heard it wasn't as good as Get Out.
Well, Get Out's going to be incredible because that movie is off the charts.
You saw it too?
No, I haven't seen Get Out yet, but I've read a lot of good reviews without spoiling it, and it is apparently a really, really good movie.
I'm going to take this a step further. I'm going to buy that it gets a nomination, and
You're going to double down?
I'm going to double down and say...
Bet it all on black that it wins an award.
Either Hugh Jackman gets best actor. If it's that good, I need to see it, or Best Picture.
Or Patrick Stewart gets Best Supporting Actor.
That's another one, too. That's another possibility in that. So I'm going to say that it gets an award. It gets an Academy Award. Some way or another, it'll get an Academy Award.
I will 100% buy that it is nominated. I think it's an incredible movie. Any listeners out there, go check it out. It's great. But this has been Two Birds and a Third. We thank you guys for listening, and this is Josh, DJ, and Hank signing out here.
See you guys. Have a good night.
You too.